And I can also tell you this, given the fact that most of the major prizes this season have been shared out by a relatively small amount of players, the winner of the Championship League, you would assume, will have a place in next season's Champion of Champions. Hold on. Fluke alert.
1.
Well, maybe that's karma, because early in the second frame I thought Stevens was very unlucky when he went into the bunch off the black. Didn't drop on anything easy. That, though, a real bonus. And of course the mantra in snooker is, when you have luck, you have to make the most of it.
6.
There's no room for guilt, because during the course of a career you're going to have some cruel luck, and I can tell you over the years, Stevens has.
Matthew Stevens, 6.
No excuse there, though. At this level, those mid-range pots have to be deposited. As do those. Shaun Murphy so far in this group. He beat Mark Davis 3-0. That was a good start. Lost 3-2 to Neil Robertson, who has a 100% record through 4 matches. He then beat Judd Trump 3-1. Finished off last night with a 3-1 win over Ryan Day. And so if he were to win this match, the playoffs would beckon. Now though, after sorting out that plant, Stevens is banging.
8.
Mixed fortunes for Matthew Stevens so far. He began on the back foot, losing 3-0 to the 2006 world champion Graham Dott. Stevens, though, then beat his fellow Welshman Ryan Day 3-1. And last night, in the last match to finish, he edged Mark Davis 3-2. Another setback this morning when he was beaten by Judd Trump. So for him, a victory here, especially important. And that
16.
wasn't good.
Touching ball. A 17.
That's psychologically one of the hardest things to do in snooker when you've played a poor positional shot, to then gather yourself and knock in a good red or a colour.
$22. 23.
Now could play off the blue here for the lone red in balk. Is the pink a better choice? Looks a bit too much angle. Well, the pink is the tougher shot. Oh, well executed. I was thinking there, maybe he was thinking about taking the cue ball into the pack, but
29.
he was a little straighter than I thought, so he could screw off the red and play, or screw off the pink, I should say, and play for the red just below it.
$30. $36. $37.
In and out season so far for Matthew Stevens. He did reach the semi-finals of the first world ranking tournament of the campaign, the Wuxi Classic in China, eventually losing out to John Higgins. Good split there. Also reached the last 16 of the International Championship in Chengdu, China. On that occasion, he beat John Higgins 6-2 before losing out to Ding, the eventual champion, next time out.
45.
One big disappointment, not qualifying for the Indian Open, so didn't make the trip to Delhi. Now Stevens hates using the rest, avoids it like the plague. Thankfully, to a degree, he's ambidextrous. But it doesn't matter whether you play left-handed or right. If you suffer a kick, and Stevens did there, balls are going to go astray. That was unlucky. You could hear the sound as White made contact with object ball. It definitely straightened.
One.
And now, although he came to the table 51 points adrift, what a chance for Murphy. There's only one awkward ball there, the red close to the left-hand side cushion as we're looking. Apart from that, they are sitting pretty.
6. Seven.
Now this isn't like a couple of amateurs down the club potting the easiest balls. Murphy wanted to get rid of that because it was blocking a pocket. But if the red
14.
he's closest to doesn't go past the yellow, he's been a little clumsy there. Well, in fairness, I think he's been a little clumsy, even if it does, because that wasn't the intended position. Unlike Stevens, Murphy is very solid indeed when employing the rest. Well, the
20.
offending red is still close to the side cushion, but it's more easily potable now than it was before that kiss.
21. 26. 27.
Big shot coming up now. Nicely played. At this
34.
precise moment, Murphy, though, wishes just for one shot at least, he was left-handed. Mm.
35.
Now, with the disappearance of that ball, even though he's still 16 points behind, Murphy is favourite for the frame and therefore to win 3-1.
Yep. 42.
Now there, wanted to leave the cue ball closer to the side cushion than he did. Has to use the extension on his cue and also the extended rest. Deep screw required here. This might be Stevens' last hope. If this shot is played well, look at the colours all on their spots, you'd expect Murphy to clear up. At that angle, knew full well he couldn't really get the cue ball too far away from the cushion. So now,
43.
crunch pot on green or brown, position on the yellow, and from there it should be plain sailing.
$46.
Well, I said crunch pot on the brown, get position on the yellow,
Shaun
and it's
Murphy,
plain sailing.
46.
Unfortunately, the cue ball again finished too close to the side cushion. He was jacking up the cue. The yellow wasn't easy. And it's still on the table. So, renewed hope for Stevens. 5 in front. The good thing for Murphy, the yellow has run a little awkwardly. The cue ball needs to run from Stevens' perspective, and it hasn't. And so, a second bite of that proverbial cherry.
Two.
Oh, and that's good. Okay, not ideal, but good. Again, the rest required. Again, the extension required. So if Murphy pots this, it will be level board, 51 each. That means he will then need brown, blue and pink.
Five. Nine.
2 pots away from what would be his 4th win in 5 matches in this Group 3. And so, on the brink
14.
of a guaranteed place in the semi-finals. This for it.
20. Frame and the match.
Well, I'm sure you'll agree that was quite an interesting match. Matthew Stevens had his chance to go 2-2. He suffered a kick playing a black left-handed. Murphy came back into the frame with a 46 break.